let alone 3. Oh, the smoke dropped though. The spam does come through. Just a bit of chip damage to a couple of players. Nothing concrete. Zedco is still nearby here towards B. A lot of players coming his way. The flashbang will delay, allowing these rotations to come through, but Zedco completely tucks.
Yeah, I think for Zedco, just surviving's got to be the main goal. Finally strikes, but doesn't find the kill. He's got an HE grenade that could take down 360. We'll be sending that out now. Reposition from 360. Great find onto Extinct. How is 360 still alive here? They're not going to assume he's on the bomb site. Zedco will get another, though. Now all on Artist. Half HP. Bomb planted for him. Smoke on the bomb here. Artist! Not the quickest reaction time for that kill, and it will give another round now to Sinners.
And it's a final round of the half, and bomb plant going to be a nice bonus, but money still not going to be a brilliant buy out for Alaska. Certainly one that they are able to win still, though. But we have to say, this could still enter that 6-6 that we were fearing for Alaska, and it is going to need to be a bit of a reality check from them, considering this game definitely felt like it was in their hands. 6-2,
yeah, look,
5-1.
Yeah, definitely. And I think this is the kind of time where you'd expect maybe a bit of a tactical pause, some time to talk things through, get Bisco involved. Things have fallen a little flat, gone sour.
Good awareness here from Peepo, and he does find Giraffe. Advantage Sinners. No one coming from CT so far. Briscoe.
Excellent positioning here.
It's unfortunate from Extinct, just cleared out towards the ramp. An Artist in a 1 versus 3. Had a 1v2 last time that he wasn't successful in. One step harder, all 3 players towards ramp. And you can see so paranoid about some of the other angles, but all 3 have grouped up, and Sinners will be able to take this one and take 6, even at the halftime switch.
Yeah, look, it's brilliant from Sinners. Something that we kind of praised Alaska quite massively on Inferno is the fact they had the mental resilience to come back. Obviously, Sinners have done much better. They've leveled the half, and I think right now, Alaska, bit of a head-scratching moment. We were talking about the fact that Sinners maybe have lost their chance to find victory in the series, but what a change of tune here for them.
Yeah, I mean, look, they look like they're getting rolled over in most of the rounds. They felt very out of it. I mean, you look at it, those first 6 rounds, the only round they found was that pistol. Nothing since then, but yeah, I mean, they've definitely sort of jumped back into life. I still don't think this is a guarantee. I think this is still very much up in the air. Alaska, they've got a good CT side. And already they're showing a good start to this pistol.
Oh, so much damage dealt there through the smoke to Morisco. And shocking a 1 versus 3. So far out of this one. It's just the tap of the bomb. No one's sticking shot. Finally been spotted by 360. Will be the full defuse of the bomb. Oh, in fact, no. Just the tap again. Pistol does go the way of Alaska, so they take the lead once more.
Yeah, I mean, nice attempt from Zedco there to find 2 kills, but after we see the first 2 kills come through for Alaska, it was in such a tough spot for those bomb site players who were essentially in that 2 versus 5 there. And with, like you mentioned, so much damage coming through from the spams onto the bomb planter, I mean, there was never any real chance there. So, Alaska will win it, but can they win against the force buy from Sinners? Not wanting to give Alaska any time to settle. Is a hit towards A. There's 2 players residing on this bomb site.
Yeah, Giraffe. Nice find there. Takes all the sting out of the attack straight away once that kill comes through, and the damage onto Zedco, they just forced to back away. And now Sinners. Again, they've opted for a force, and I don't think it will come through from them. We'd have to see some major mistakes from Alaska.
I mean, they do still have good weaponry, but it's a round that is solely reliant on individuals here. Look, you've got a single piece of utility. Just a Molotov. Hit towards B feels like the best call. Isolate Giraffe on the bomb site. And look to take down Extinct in cave. And some noise has been heard. I think Extinct might have been able to hear a player jump up towards the B lanes. But Alaska, they're fully rotating Extinct. Even if he finds one, I think that's good enough.
Yeah, information as well. 360 now with work to do. MP9 in hand. Needs to find this pick. Vacancy rotating in. Can't deal with the elevated Morisco, and it will be a comfortable round here now from Alaska.
Yeah, I think Sinners had their chance, but I think just a little bit too slow towards B at that point. Alaska cleared out some positions and fully rotated over towards that bomb site and just strengthened it up where it felt like Sinners never had a chance in that.
Look, Charlie, I asked you for a prediction here at the start. We've seen 14 rounds of play now, and Alaska in the lead. Are you going to change your tune? Are you thinking Alaska can bounce back and can take map 2, or are you still confident? Are you still thinking that Sinners have got some tricks up their sleeve?
I mean, I was never confident that Sinners could take Ancient. I did certainly give them the slight edge, though. I mean, after what we've seen so far, I think it'd be hard not to predict Alaska. I think less so about the actual scoreline that we're seeing, and more so in just how both teams have played. Alaska have been far more impressive. Ooh, Vacancy will go down on the bomb site. Player towards cave as well, and Extinct will find the first.
Yeah, the reposition from Extinct is excellent, but just whether they're all going to be prepared for Zedco. Positioning of Zedco is so good. No one's checked him. He's got to take his timing, though. He cannot miss out on this opportunity. Great swing from Shock. Artist will get one. Doubles down as well. Oh, prepared for Shock, and they will crunch in on him. Did Zedco disconnect? What happened? He was in the back lines. He could have found 2 or 3. How has this gone so wrong? It's poor decision making.
I honestly think we do see that round be won by Sinners if they find both the CT players. The issue is they find one, but they wait for the CTs to make contact. And at that point, it's Shock with the rifle who gets the trade. It's just the play towards cave as well, just swarming so quickly to find. If we find that and the cave players are less confident to push out, I think that's when Zedco does come in and find both. But it looked like he was waiting for his team's contact before starting to push. But yeah, I mean, from what we saw happen, Zedco was just too slow.
Yeah, look, I think Zedco, you're in those moments, you've got a great time, and you've got yourself in an excellent position. And when it's not been taken, you see a round go away from himself. But look, he's kind of rewritten the wrongs of last round, getting the opener here. Trade eventually comes through. Morisco dodging the flash of 360, and now we could see some acceleration here towards the A-bomb site. Defended by Giraffe, 3 towards A main. Morisco on his own here towards Donut, so might opt as a little bit of a second aggressor.
Artist flank as well through A main is something to keep your eye on.
Yeah.
Right now he can drop the bomb carrier. Back is turned.
He's going to take his time. I love this from Artist. It's got to be the right call. With the utility coming down, Artist just going to line them up. He gets 2. Aware of Peepo as well. Tries with the pre-fire, but still, Artist has done his work. Not to say it's a confirmed round, but the fact that Artist has gone 2 for 1, you know, that's job done for him.
Yeah, it's far from Sinners. They tried to be really methodical about that because they were advantaged in that round. But in doing so, they were just clearing all the expected angles and just weren't ready for a flank whatsoever. And it allowed Artist to come in and really be the difference maker. Morisco getting flashed in, but he is low HP. Similar HP on both sides. There is a smoke on Peepo. Where will he use that, though? Oh, I like this decision. 2 players pushing through towards CT.
I don't think they're going to expect this. Morisco spots out Giraffe. And Sinners, although there's that kind of mistakes in main, Surely we will see this round go their way. Smoke dropped, nade as well, but Extinct's not really giving it a look. Alaska, they're going to give up 7 here. So much work done by Artist, and for it to mean nothing, you've got to say, a little bit disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, well played by the final 2 players there. People, I mean, desperately need to find the kill onto Artist. If he went down there, that is the round going with him. I mean, a great decision to have 2 players push towards CT instantly. Giraffe's just not ready for that. And then it's the low HP Extinct in a very difficult clutch that he isn't even going to attempt. But I mean, it does just show Alaska. Sure, they don't win the round, but you can't ever count them out, even in these big disadvantage moments.
This could be a pivotal round, though, if Sinners win it. We're expecting a 9-9 scoreline, and that's where Alaska's early lead has gone very far from them.
Yeah,
Got to see a weaponry switch here, sure.
Has already been dealt by Zedco onto Extinct, so yeah, you would hope we would see a weaponry switch. It looks like they are just not interested in that just yet. I'll be annoyed if we see a swap with Artist Orb. And not just give the, oh, great boost up. Timing's perfect. Peepo falls in vacancies. 5-7 finds 1. Has a slight opportunity to take down Zedco as well, but big turnaround for Alaska to be the one's big advantage. 360's timing on the push through Donut is excellent.
And even if it goes wrong, he's got a teammate there to trade him in Giraffe. I think we got to say, if Morisco doesn't turn around there, I think Vacancy finds that kill, able to retrieve an AK much easier. And I think he could have found 2 there, but still, positive round here. Extinct has been chipped away at.
He's aware it's not the second.
It's gone down to a 2-on-2. Artist. Close proximity here. Zedco going to make his way up towards B. Artist. Surely going to hear these steps.
Yeah, he's heard these steps now, definitely. We do have B-Stick here to catch off the rotating
Artist
player.
seems aware. Oh, and he is. Brilliant from Artist. And now Zedco in the 1 versus 2 Extinct. I think he's been told, been cautioned not to peek. Artist, he's been given a chance. Zedco now to back away. The bomb has halfway ticked. And I like the idea of this. Extinct just going in first. Zedco, though, repositioning. This is excellent. And the problem is, there's been enough time. The defuse can just come through, though. He can just fully stick it. Oh! He gets off the bomb! He gets off the bomb! I think the defuse would have come through. Oh, what a clutch from Zedco, but what a disappointing round from Alaska. We're in a 4 versus 2.
Yeah, that's really tough. I mean, we have to firstly praise B-Stick for this double. Finds Giraffe and clearly gets told 360 was the one to kill Shock. Not the other way around. He knows there's a second player in there. Really quick find. But, I mean, Giraffe's awareness. Sorry, Artist's awareness. I mean, he's having a great game in general, but just a kill on the V that keeps his teammate alive.
It's another round, though, that Artist does so much of the heavy lifting. He obviously gets the boosted kill onto Peepo, finds B-Stick as well, and it's still not a round victory for Alaska. How much more does he need to do?
I mean, that defuse, it's going to be a really rough one to watch back, because I do think there probably was time to get the defuse off, but Extinct clearly just didn't think so. Got off the bomb, tried to find the kill, and...
Look, can I be blunt here? I think if Extinct gets off the bomb and gets the kill, he might not even have enough time to defuse after the fact.
I think there was, but it's an awkward spot. It's just so low. You've got to be quick enough to take them down. Well played here from Shock to deal with the stack towards A. People as well at range. This is a really clean anti-eco for Sinners.
There's not really much Alaska are going to do here. Extinct has got a deagle, but no one really come his way. And Sinners should level things up 9-9, and this is what we're saying. Look, Alaska, they were, what, 5-1 up, 6-2 up?
Bit off topic, they've got 4,000 plus kills on Extinct's knife.
I didn't see.
I mean, I've seen it a few times this series, and I'm thinking, how?
Just they play a lot. They play a lot of CS, Charlie.
Yeah, but you're talking knife rounds. Let's say, like, on average, you get 1 kill in a knife round.
Well, you think he hasn't played 4,000 games of Counter-Strike? Mate, I'm up to 3.5, and I'm god awful. And it's 2.
I mean, come on. Let's see. 4,011. That's outrageous. No knife should ever see that much usage.
I don't even know if I've ever had an AK that's had that many kills.
I think that says more about you than it does Extinct. But it's going to be a fast hit here up towards B. Vacancy tucked in the corner, but a counter flash. And that might even be the tease flash, I'm not sure, but everyone's seemingly blinded. But the trade so far are favouring the CTs. Peepo wants to find Artist, but the missed shot doesn't come back to haunt him. He's able to fire off another before finally getting taken down. And Marisco in a 1 versus 2 spots the first player, but Gun just not out.
Marisco.
I think he could just pick up the bomb and leave if he really wanted to.
I don't mind the idea on that, but also he could isolate a fight. A minute on the clock. I think the problem is once he leaves the bomb site, the whole round becomes a question mark for Marisco.
I mean, even more so for Alaska, though. Marisco knows there is a player towards cave. Might try to find 360, but has opted against and is starting the rotation towards A. I mean,
like the fact
they're still shifting right now.
I think they're shifting just on the basis that if it was fake steps, they want to make sure that he's not tucked away somewhere. They're happy to play this as a 2 versus 1 retake. Marisco. 2 quick shots are going to be needed. Oh, he gets the first. No trade. And now Marisco. Marisco shouldn't be able to do that, but he makes it look so easy. And Sinners, they win another one. But it shouldn't have even got there. How is Artist not taking down Peepo? It's ridiculous, but Sinners take the lead.
This is going to end up being one of those games, I think, where if we end up seeing Sinners win it, this is going to be one that is determined by clutches. You look at the Zedco 1v2, now Marisco's just got one as well. And Sinners, although I still don't think they've actually played better than Alaska this game, even that round is the perfect example of it. It's a round that Sinners win, but they shouldn't have. You look at that 2 versus 4, the Zedco 1v2. That's a round that, again, Sinners shouldn't have won. Alaska have done 90% of the hard work already, but it's just the 10% that they're seemingly messing up time and time again. And that's what's given Sinners not only a foothold to keep themselves in the game, but now to be able to take the lead.
Yeah, look, I think right now Alaska are going to be very disappointed. And as you said, Charlie, look, if Sinners do take this series, we're going to be looking at this game as a bit of a highlight for Alaska, because let's say they go 2-2 and lose out in that final spot, or you know, if they come up against a tough opponent and lose now, I just think you've got to say that this map will be one that they will look back on and remember for quite some time if it goes against them. And even if it doesn't, even if they win this, they've made this game unnecessarily difficult for themselves.
Yeah, some interesting fights that could be happening across the map right now, but it still feels like Sinners should be able to do enough work to go on to take it. The CZ at range will take down the low HP Zedco, but Giraffe was the only one who could have probably denied this round going the way of Sinners. But it's still going to be a saved AK for Artist to bring over into the next. I'm not sure what lost bonus is looking like, if an AWP's even possible, so an AK in Artist's hand, the way he's playing, it's certainly a big upgrade onto that M4.
Nice for Extinct here. First we question, how has he crept his way into the bomb site? Look, I've got to say, on Inferno I said, look, for Alaska, everyone was kind of in the conversation. No one was an outlier. No one was a kind of a real negative impact. But you look at Extinct and the outcomes that we usually expect from them. You look at 360, 8 and 14. Has this been enough to win a game of Ancient? Although they might have looked as though they played better, the style of CS and kind of the ways in their approach to both their T side and CT side, but in the kill department, they're lacking all across the board apart from Artist. Everyone else negative. It's so tough to watch because I think we all know Alaska have been the better side. And I think it is so disappointing. Hopefully, this 30 seconds is where the coach of Biscu can step in and hopefully provide a little bit more kind of strength amongst the side, and maybe just give those kind of final words of wisdom to allow Alaska to reclaim the somewhat certain victory that was expected here on Ancient.
I mean, you mentioned sort of individuals, and it's not someone I actually want to point out as a reason why Alaska in this spot, but obviously Giraffe initially in those first 5 rounds, he was 10-2.
Yeah.
So since then, we've seen, what, 15 deaths to 5 kills. It's been a far bigger slowdown. But obviously, he was the main reason why sort of Alaska were able to be 5-1 up in this map.
But look, Charlie, I said it about Inferno. On the T side, it was brilliant. It seemed like there was just differing in kind of ability regarding siding, which is always so rare to see, but seemingly the CT side for Giraffe is where he struggles. Vacancy can go 1 for 1, but this could be it, Charlie. Remember, the finance is somewhat drained. Oh, Extinct falls to Shock. Shock with a great double opener. It's just going to have to be the save here from Artist and Giraffe.
Yeah, not much of a choice in Giraffe with this AK. Might not be allowed to save. Briscoe, he's looked really sharp. I mean, you look at that 1v2, he's only got 14 kills, but just so snappy with his aim.
Oh, look, Morisco was incredible in Inferno as well.
Yeah.
You just think of that triple in pit that kind of gave them the game.
Shock's been Mr. Consistent all the way throughout Ancient as well, really, for Sinners. I mean, Beastic's been very impressive throughout this series, had so many big rounds.
And look, to be honest, Peepo, has he lit the world afire?
I mean, honestly, look at the 2 newest players has probably been the most underwhelming in this series so far, actually.
But look, I think right now, have we seen moments from Peepo that have got them rounds? Yes. You know, Sinners right now, they're in a spot where they can win this game. They can close it out 2-0. Realistically, I think individual stats obviously are important. I feel like if a player's a little bit missing for, you know, a month or so, then you come to question it. Who cares about stats? If you're winning a series 2-0, especially when you were trailing so heavily here on Ancient, it doesn't matter about the individuals. It doesn't matter about which players are the ones to do the heavy lifting. It's a team game, Charlie, right? And I think everyone on this side for Sinners has had that it factor about them in moments. As you said, Zedco, what, 14 and 16, worst KD on their side, but he had that 1 versus 2, changed the game. But this is it. Double AWP, yeah.
Yeah, Artist in middle will find Risco, so that's the opening kill. Might be given an opportunity for a second.
Extinct is 8 HP already.
It's a tough spot to be in. But it is man advantage for Alaska. 3 rounds needed just to bring us to overtime here.
I've got to say, my least favourite part about this call is we've got the double AWP in play. One's towards A, one's towards Donut, which just means that retaking B is going to be very difficult with the double AWP. And also, if they show much presence and aggression towards A, you could get a little bit caught off guard. But hopefully for Alaska, it doesn't happen. Vacancy now. Going to be defending the main brunt of the attack. Important trade from Zedco, and he goes 2 for 1, or 2 for none currently. 3 on 3. Posted up on the AWP is Peepo. And as we said, look, maybe he's not had the most impressive of a series overall, but a kill like that, denying a rotation, it's on Extinct and Artist now to clutch this one out. Util coming over. Great flash. Extinct. I think he spotted the player in Cubby and won't realise it. Artist. He's been the main player here for Alaska. And a mighty task he has on his hands here. 20 seconds remaining in the round. Needs to find the kill, but Shock swinging. Round over. Game finish. Sinners. A 2-0 here for them. They go 1-1 in the Swiss stage. Yet for Alaska, 0-2 now.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough road ahead for Alaska. But, I mean, you look at the scorelines. At least it was a close, competitive game. It was closer than the game against 500, but I suppose that's to be expected in terms of the caliber that the teams are playing at right now. Alaska certainly had their chances, and I suppose that's the best thing we can say. It wasn't a game that they were completely out of. You look at Inferno, they made such a big comeback to keep that one interest in there. And then on Ancient, arguably, it was a map it was sort of their map to lose, and sadly they did do so. There's just a couple of moments that really were costly. I mean, you look at the one where Peepo should have been taken down by Artist, the one that ended up leading into Morisco's 1v2. If that happened, that was a 3 versus 1 there, and I just cannot see Morisco winning that. You look at the round as well, Zedco in that 1 versus 2 as well. These were pivotal rounds. These were moments that changed how Ancient was played and probably changed the tides and allowed Sinners to take that one in a 2-0 fashion. But that is the clutch potential that Sinners can have, and even though I do probably think in terms of actual game plan and sort of the fundamentals in place, I do think Alaska had a better game than Ancient. At the end of the day, CS is sometimes about fine margins, and seemingly today it went the way of Sinners. Yeah,
look, it was brilliant from Sinners. I think you got to say, look, they had their chances and they certainly took them. And obviously you said, look, okay, clutches, they were a real factor there for Sinners on on Ancient, but it's part of the game, as you said. Look, there was so many 2-man advantages that Alaska had there on both this T side and the CT side that just went against them. But obviously, we can see the update that has had on the Swiss stage standings. Right now, Charlie, we've seen 3 games today, all of which being 2-0s. And the real question is, are we going to see a continuance in that next game? Obviously, being the Ecstatic against Chimera. I've got to say, I'm excited by this one. But I think what we will do, Charlie, is we'll leave our little conversation about that game for about 45 minutes time, because that's when we'll be back for the pre-show of Ecstatic versus Chimera. So, look, you've got about half an hour, 45 minutes. Maybe get yourself some food, have a drink, relax, because that last game should be a banger. But beforehand, we will be jumping to a break.
Do I wanna try? Can I let it go? We're running from the past, wanting to be sure. Chaos in my mind, constant deja vu. But every time, it comes back to you.
Final series of the night, Charlie. Obviously, we've got Ecstatic versus Chimera. I think both these sides have got something to prove. I think you've got to imagine their first results. They're not going to be too happy with it, both going 0-2, as in 2-0 losses. But realistically, Charlie, Ecstatic played really well against Fnatic. Possibly the hardest team to face in the whole Swiss stage. They got result against them personally because it was 13-10s both games round. So I think right now they're going to be quite happy with the fact that they were competitive against a side like Fnatic. But what are you thinking when it comes to this whole series?
I mean, in general, Ecstatic, as of late, have been pretty disappointing. But we have to say, in Series 16, they certainly proved me wrong. They had a good run, but it was just Series 17 that felt like it was a bit of a really poor showing from them, a showing that we're not expecting from this side. They went 0-3 in the Swiss stage, and it was just a bit of a shock for, I think, not just them, but for us as well. Sure, you come into the first game of Series 18, you are up against Fnatic, is never going to be an easy game, but they brought things close. They made it very competitive. It was that 2-0 loss, but it was in super close fashion that I think you've got to give this Ecstatic side the credit that they do deserve for bringing that one close. I do think there certainly are some issues that this team still need to iron out here or there. Maybe there's still just some final bits of rust that they're shaking off after coming back from that player break. But it does feel like they've got a point to prove now. After what happened in Series 17, they need to show us sort of what they're all about. And I think the game against Fnatic, if they could have got a win, I mean, that would have been a brilliant statement for them. But they cannot have a repeat of what happened in Series 17. They can't go 0-3 again, and you kind of can't go 0-2 either. So I do think this is a really important game for this side to be able to turn over a new leaf. But they've got Chimera to face.
Yeah, look, you know, the team you pointed out in knocking them out 0-3 in Series 17 was Na'Vi Jr. That was the side that Chimera faced recently to go 0-1. And to be honest, that was an absolute bloodbath. Na'Vi Jr. looked like they were going to dismantle anything that Chimera had to offer. And it was an interesting series for us to watch because I think we definitely highlighted some limiting factors throughout that Chimera was showing. And I think a player who didn't really have that much impact at all was Shine. And I'm hoping today we can see a little bit more from him. So definitely going to be having kind of a bit of a kind of a spotlight hopefully on Shine. Obviously we've seen quite a vast amount of games from Vilby, Mikuse and Blue White here in the CCT for previous rosters for previous sides. Look, it was Blue White who was doing a lot of the heavy lifting on Ancient. Obviously no one was really performing on that Mirage game. I've got to say, if no one else steps up alongside Blue White, I think we could see a repeat. I really think we could.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difficult thing. I'm a big fan of someone like Blue White. I've been pretty vocal about that sort of in every game that I've watched of him. But he isn't going to necessarily be someone who is every single game going to be your star player will win you the game alone. Yeah. Certainly can do so, but the issue is he does need some support. He does need some help. And you touched on Shine. He's been pretty poor as of late. And we do need to see that turnaround because there is a player in there. We just need to start to see a little bit more of it.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, on the flip side, though, we can have a little bit of a look at Ecstatic. I feel like this Ecstatic roster, I think when they first formulated, I think there was a lot of interesting questions about them. And I think many people saw the instant, I guess, lack of success would have been chalked up to the fact, newly formed roster, give them some time. They've now been given that time, Charlie, and they're still underperforming. What do you think we need to see a change in?
I mean, look back to sort of Series 16, I think, and you look who they got knocked out to in those quarterfinals. It was Ent. That was always going to be a tough game. And I think beforehand, there were some decent results in there with certainly a little bit of inconsistency. I think if they can go back to that form of Series 16, then I think this team is on their way up. I think you look back a few months ago, we've seen obviously TMB get introduced, and I think that was a big difference maker. Despite still being very young himself, brings a huge amount of experience from sort of that old Copenhagen Flames and Mad Lions team a few years ago now. And that feels like that was a big difference maker for Ecstatic. You've now got Sierra as well. They came in after the player break. I honestly think there is nothing that I want to see drastically change in this team. I think give it a few more months and then reevaluate, and hopefully some of those inconsistency issues will have been gone after adding in Sierra, and we'll get to see what Ecstatic sort of was starting to look like they were doing before the player break occurred. But Fred, we do have the vetoes. We can have a bit of a look in terms of where this series is going to be headed. I do think this is going to be an interesting time of things. Chimera, yeah, it's been a bit more difficult after sort of the last game we watched from Na'Vi Jr., where it did feel like it was a huge sort of blowout, very one-sided there from start to finish. We saw Chimera only get 10 rounds in that whole entire series, yeah. So it's going to be curious if something like that is going to dictate their vetoes. I hope it doesn't, because they do have a decent amount of sample size as this team, but they don't play a lot of Train or Nuke.
Yeah, look, I think right now the vetoes are going to be always favouring a team like Ecstatic. It's clear that they've kind of played all 7 maps in the last couple months. They are opting to ban Mirage. Not only is it one of Chimera's strengths, but it's one of their own weaknesses. So I think right now when you look at it, I think, to be honest, I think Chimera are going to really struggle here. I don't really know where they go, because their 2 second strongest, or second and third strongest maps are Ancient and Anubis. They're also positive points for Ecstatic as well. I think this is going to be a tough one. Where they decide to pick is going to be interesting. Okay, they've opted for Anubis, which is, I think, obviously a lower sample size for Ecstatic, which obviously gives some favouring for them. I don't now know whether we're going to see the train pick from Ecstatic. I think you assume it's got to be selected from them. They've had 6 maps played in the last couple months, 83% win rate across it. Very little sample size and much shown from Chimera. I think the train pick would be good here, but Ecstatic go against it. They go for Inferno, which is very odd. Obviously, it's their 3rd most played map, but I really think that's a big risk. That could come back to bite them. I have to say that, Charlie.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a map that Ecstatic have been picking. It's not something they just ended up sort of getting a lot in the vetoes. Train is a map that they have been wanting to select a number of times, and yeah, like you mentioned, this is a map that they have got a very good win rate on. They've only lost it once, and that one loss was to Spirit Academy, and that certainly doesn't feel like a team that right now you would be too disheartened losing to, the sort of form they're on. But other than that one game that they lost 16-14, so extremely close, they have been dominating a number of teams, and a number of teams that aren't exactly too far away from where Chimera currently are. I really think the train pick would be the right call. We ended up having Ancient as that decider. Basically, how I feel like these vetoes look is, on paper, super 50-50. It feels like every map is pretty good for both sides, which, I mean, is going to lead to a good series, I'm hoping. I definitely do think Ecstatic right now, in terms of some of the levels that we've seen from them and what we do know this team can produce, I do think they are a step up from Chimera. But I do think the train, for me, maybe would have been a bit of an easy pick.
Yeah, look, Charlie, I'm just going to come out and say it. I think Ecstatic have made the biggest error ever in the vetoes. I don't know why they've stayed clear of train, and that's something that we can talk about as we head into the action. But look, for Chimera, they've played 2 games on train. They've lost them both. Okay, yeah, they're fairly close losses. But yeah, I see no value in not picking train. I think Ecstatic, if they do somehow lose this series, I'm still pretty confident in them winning. But if they do lose this series, I am going to be talking a lot about the lack of that train pick. And look, I think it's a big misstep from them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if it does come back to haunt them, I think we'll probably be having a lot of conversations about it. But pissed around here, and Lele finds the opening kill onto Shine. We are starting off on Chimera's map selection anyway.
Look, they've got to show result here, because however close these maps may be, if they don't take their map pick, we're looking at Ancient, we're looking at Inferno. These are maps that Ecstatic are very confident on, and they're confident on Anubis as well. So I think Chimera, if they don't win map 1, I think we kind of know where the series is going, or at least you'd have that assumption. But yeah, I think there's... The videos already have made me question decision-making of Ecstatic. I'm loving this from Zenda. He's taking a lot of space here now.
Fristo as well, just probing towards middle. Gonna be on a flank himself.
It's all gonna be about what Christo can find here. I think if the main brunt of the Ecstatic players look to peak at the same time, they're gonna need a flash for Blue White's position. And no, that is not an error with TMB's view model. That is his decision. great here from the T's, though.
Yeah, 2 towards Temple. You've got the 1 in Evo.
Full stick from TMB. I love it.
Is a defuse kit.
Oh, the quick shot from Vilby. Jolly, you pointing this out quite a lot about Vilby. The impact he can have on pistol rounds. What a moment there.
Yeah, 3 kills from him. Massive showing, and Chimera take away that round. Is so crucial for them. I'm hoping we get to see the kill again, just so we can see how much time's on that bomb.
It's very minimal.
Oh, not a lot at all. Bilby needed that kill. Went on and got it. And Chimera,
I
mean,
pretty poor
kind of
retake.
stole away the pistol.
Yeah, pretty poor retake from Ecstatic.
I mean, just such good positioning there in Temple that
Yeah.
Ecstatic from... If maybe they had a player towards Temple earlier, but you see none that kind of just ran. Maybe assumed it was clear, because he went down very, very easily with those dualies. I wouldn't have even minded him just sort of staying. Not showing, being really slow and allowing his team's pressure to finally bait him in with the T's, considering, okay, surely no one's coming from here now. It's taking so long.
Yeah, exactly. Either way, though, Chimera, this is the start they need. They need a kind of someone else to step up alongside Blue-White. As we said, very minimalistic from the rest of the guys against Na'Vi Jr. Yeah, a start here for Vilby. Talk about kind of confidence that can occur from rounds like that. Blue-White, only one with an SMG here. An attempt to farm up some cash. I actually don't mind this at all.
Expecting the CETs to swarm on his position, because just drops a molly and backs away.
I really like this. Ecstatic, they've got very little to gain and far much more to lose with the Mac 10 on Blue-White. You know, if Blue-White goes down, if he finds 2 kills, it's worthwhile, because then it means he's getting a better weapon in the next round, making some money with the Mac 10. I think that's what we're going to see from Blue-White. So hungry for these kills. Rings coming through.
Ammo.
Excellent. Absolutely brilliant there. I've got to say, Ecstatic, it's wonderful. Just 1 kill found with a Mac 10. It's a weapon that can be brought across here for Ecstatic. I hope someone uses it, because I feel like an SMG can work really well towards a main in connector. I was going to say it allows Christy maybe to get an AWP out earlier in their next full buy, but he's got the big green in hand now. You liking the glass cannon?
Yeah, I think it's a good way to start this game off. Don't get me wrong, there certainly can be issues with it, especially considering TMB is taking the hit on weaponry to keep that Mac 10 in play, obviously just so he can get full util as well. So, I mean, there are a couple of limitations here or there, but TMB's Mac 10 already will find 1, so 1 for 1 with the SMG for a rifle is not too bad.
Yeah, problem is the A-bomb site could get overwhelmed very shortly. Smoke in middle, Molly in camera, and Lele just dispersing utility to give Nutnut a little bit more time here towards A. Vilby, I like the idea. Currently, Christy posted up towards B, but is he going to be ready for Shine? Shine's in an excellent position. Certainly not. Quick shot there from Shine. Man advantage wants back the way of Chimera.
Yeah, now you can see how weak that B bomb site does look. Siran and Lele have cleared out middle, but they've given up so much space in the process that this could very quickly just turn into a save.
Yeah, wouldn't mind the idea of a save hit. Obviously, TMB's got a decent amount of cash to work with. Utility coming down now. I think the CTs have maybe got to go for just the early save. But looks as though they're going to give it a slight look. Do you see value in going for this?
And they've got a chance. They are all nearby very quickly. The flashbang will come through, but Blue-White just playing anti-flash, finds Nut. And these final 2 players, positions being made known, and I think the chance of this round is completely gone. So they opt for the save a little bit later. I mean, it felt like as soon as the bomb site was taken for free, that's probably when the save call should be made. But I think they were just looking at it. We're already all here. Maybe we could have a bit of a look in, see if they've made a couple of mistakes.
Now look, what do you do here? Because obviously TMB can invest. Both Anlele and Sierra can drop over weaponry. Do you go for a heavy half or fully go for it?
I mean, they think it's worth fully going for it. I mean, you look at it like this. Nut and Crystal will be able to get out a decent amount of util. I probably wouldn't have liked Crystal. I probably would have rather him sacrificed the defuse kit for a bit of extra util. And then basically it's just Anlele that's a little bit hindered for utility. And then the buy's near enough perfect. But it's still a good enough buy that I think, yeah, you may as well go for it. And a little gimmick like that to boost Anlele up to get a free kill onto blue-white. Sometimes that's all you need to give yourself the man advantage, and it's worked out for Ecstatic in this one.
Yeah, Chimera, it seemed like they put all their eggs in one basket, just looking for kind of an early opener towards B and maybe accelerate off the back of it. Nice find from Zender. TMB needs to be a bit more cautious here towards middle. They found the opening pick towards B, and I think in that moment you've just got to realise, well, I am alone in mid. If they nade the smoke open, I'm probably dead, and even if I get one, I'm going to get traded. I think right now it's a bit of an unnecessary risk there for TMB. And in doing so, it's kind of provided an avenue back for Chimera. Because Ecstatic, we know what they can provide here. Obviously, their CT side hasn't looked perfect on Anubis. I think we've got to say that. You know, less than a 40% win rate. So getting rounds on the board early from advantages is exactly what they need to be doing. But giving a pick like that away could come back to bite them, but nice find from Sierra. Nade landing on his position. The flashbang not blinding the players on the center. Shine will get the trade, and Lele now. Looks as though he wants to take down the planter. He could have done so, but it's all on Zender. 1 versus 3. Fully blinded out in the open. Excellent stuff there from Ecstatic.
Yeah, good hold from Anlele and Sierra. Sierra finds 2, just so much damage. To Shine as well. And in an awkward position like Platt, could easily go down for nothing, but a good hold from him, and Ecstatic finally first round on the board. And he's still in a good spot for Chimera. So Ecstatic gonna need to best another round if they want to force their opponents onto that eco.
Yeah, the AWP is once again in the hands of Christu. I didn't mind the aggressive kind of peek he took early on towards B, but I think once that first bit of contact isn't made, maybe try and get a bit more mobile across. Charlie, even with Chimera having the lead, having the early openers, it seems like the favoring's still possible here for Ecstatic. Boosts come through. Zender in a nice position here. We'll just see the drop down now.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see a little bit more from Zender as well. Didn't get to see the greatest of games from him yesterday, I think it was. I mean, had some nice moments, but just not as much as we wanted. TMB now in a pretty tough position. Just called for Anlele support. Molotov dropped. Will keep Vilby back for now.
I love it from Sierra. Identifies that he's got to take some space. He's got to utilize what limited time he's got, but McHugh's with an important kill, and this should open things up towards B. And this is where Ecstatic, they were in this position before, and they gave it a little bit of a look and lost some players. I think they've just got to save from the get-go. Smoke's down here towards Temple. Should deny TMP some impact. And look again, it seems like they're going to lose another player and go for the save now. They should have just looked to keep their finances high. You've sometimes just got to realise, what is the point of throwing away all that equipment? It's such a tough round. The smoke's down. TMB is going to be lacking in impact. Again, Ecstatic. It's unfortunate that you've lost those picks there, but sometimes you just got to realise it's not really worthwhile. But a great start from Chimera, we have to say. A far better look to what we saw against Na'Vi Jr.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing is, this team does have potential in it. Of course it does. We didn't get to see Zender on the Royal Youngbloods for the longest time. And of course, Shine being brought into this this 5 as well. There's still a couple of moments that you can see, okay, yeah, they've definitely got a mistake or two in them. But with time, hopefully, similar to that Aurora Youngblood team, we can see what the potential really is of this full roster. And I like that we are still sticking with the main core of that team, because there's a very good foundation there.
Yeah, definitely. There's a reason that Aurora Youngblood side provided so many positives. A real threat. TMB. Nade in the smoke here could be excellent. And oh, he gets the dink. Vilby gonna be a little bit hard done by that. B-bomb site again. It's gonna have later rotations. And with that kill coming through, and Lele got to strike. And Lele does really well that. A kill and a half. Maybe 3/4 is blue-white down to 18 points of hell. Timing's excellent for TMB. And Ecstatic should be able to secure their second round now.
Yeah, it's the fact that it also forces blue-white back. Doesn't feel as confident about pushing out towards B alone anymore after all the damage that he just took from Anlele. So calls it off instead.
The A-bomb site's open, blue-white. I think in a moment like this, you've just got to take a bit of a risk, a bit of a gamble. We'll be just saving, though. Realistically, 18 health, no utility. Chance of winning the round's very slim. I don't mind the idea of saving. I'm not too sure what the money for Chimera is, but I'd assume it's pretty strong with having so many survivors in the last.
Yeah, it wasn't great before that round. There we go. Yeah, you can see just the amount of survivors they've got. They'll have no issues in buying in the next. So, yeah, why not? Blue-white. Just keep this weapon in play. It'll actually allow you to build up or at least keep a bit more money than you would have if you went down. So, yeah, there's no need when you've got no information and no real health to play with. So I think, again, we'll find another round finally. I mean, it's going to be interesting to sort of touch on what their CG side's looking like at the end of it. Because I'm not really sure what we're expecting from this Ecstatic side on Anubis. Because like we've said, all three maps right now, on paper, are pretty even between both sides.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a little bit of wiggle room between Anubis. I think we do have to say that. Chimera have looked a little bit better on Anubis, greater sample size. But, again, it's neither team's major strength, neither team's major weakness.
Quick towards mid here from Chimera. Mac 10 or Vilby leading the way. Christu's AWP has been located.
It's interesting that we've got a Mac 10 on Vilby, because definitely could have invested in a Galil. An AK could have been dropped across by blue-white.
He just wanted that bit of speed.
Yeah.
We saw what Vilby did with the rifle not too long ago in a couple of rounds time. So, yeah, maybe just wanted to try to replicate that with the Galil, see if he can get in the face, find one before getting traded, and see if his teammate can get that man advantage. But not enough fight from Chimera to make that happen.
I do quite like the idea here. They're looking to reaggress, and blue-white, the second, fires off that molly. Oh, Sarah. Too focused on picking up the AK. Should have just had the weapon in hand, but Christu, 1 versus 4. On to the 1-on-2. Great double there from Christu. He's got the bomb now. I quite like the idea of Christu repositions. He's low HP. They're just going to swing together and make this really difficult for Christu here. Unfortunate. Christu's got a hit. A wondrous shot there.
I don't really know how that went so wrong there.
Yeah, the CTs are in a great position, but it was Sarah picking up an AK over an M4 for no reason.
Yeah, but even that, obviously the POV we got was solely of that E-box fight. Sarah goes 1 for 1. But then Christu comes in and gets the trade.
Yeah, it's the player on B falling for nothing, and I think someone died in mid as well.
That's the thing, it's just too much action happening on the map at the same time, and Ecstatic losing too many of these 1v1s. Elsewhere that just let that one slip, because that one looked like such a... I was going to praise how important that kill is from Christu. He's in front of the Molotov. You have no room to sort of move as an AWPer. You have to hit that shot, and the pressure there isn't easy to try to maintain, but Christu finds that along with the bomb, and that felt like, okay, that's it there. Ecstatic, great position, and the next thing we know is Christu it's such a difficult clutch.
Yeah, it's very odd. And I think Ecstatic, it seems like they're opting for a game plan of, look, well, we'll beat them on the angles, we'll beat them kind of on the 1v1s, yet potentially needing to show a little bit more respect to this Chimera side, because I think we have to admit, Charlie, Chimera, this is a roster that we're going to be praising individuals quite a lot of the time for their success.
Info has been picked up on Anlele. There is armor to back this up, but Zenda holding the angle, just trying to bait out the shot, but Zenda holds his nerve. A decent amount of damage dealt to some of these players, but finally we do see a kill. Oh, Sarah. I'd like to fight it a little bit more heavily. See if you can punish some of these weapons.
He might go in last second and tap the bomb. It's just picked up an AK.
Not far off catching Zenda falling back either. We're going to keep this AK into the next though. I mean, if we want Ecstatic to really bring things back here on the first half, they are going to need to be able to actually string some of these rounds together. They've only won 2 so far. Neither of them have been together. But they can pretty easily reset Chimera if they just win 2 rounds in a row. And if they're able to do that, we'll probably go on to see an even half. Or something at least similar to that. But it's very much easier said than done, as Chimera aren't giving them a whole lot of opportunities into this one.
I think we got to say, for a T-sided map, it's a bit interesting that Ecstatic have opted to pick the CT side to start on.
Yeah, I mean, maybe just hoping for that sort of comeback potential.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly can understand. That would have that factor, but Zera now under pressure. Great find. He's got a teammate close by. Ooh, Christu. Been spotted. Great find. And disciplined is Anlele. Great double there. Zenda in the clutch. 1v3. Gone to the 1-on-1 now as he finds Anlele. Reposition on the plant. Smokes it down. And Zenda's retrieved an AK. Nut though. It's all going to be about timing. And Nut will win out the clutch. Zenda, I like the positive approach he goes for and trying to take some space there. It's obviously planted for CT. He's just gambling that Nut either push through middle or maybe flanking through E-box. I actually think Zenda's given that a really good go, and the shots there on the AWP were excellent.
Yeah, I mean, undoubtedly. Brilliant second shot on Anlele. I do have to question, though, why is Anlele out in the open? You can throw that smoke from behind pillar. Yeah,
very true.
I mean, interesting decision from Anlele. Clearly just the pressure of that sort of moment getting to him slightly, but will just cause him to sort of make slightly questionable decisions at times. But yeah, I mean, it's just little things like this that I think both sides honestly are in a similar spot where they need to iron out a little bit of those mistakes. But I said, Static, they have the chance to be able to reset them if they win a couple in a row. That's exactly the spot they are in now. Yeah, great shot there from Christu. Spots the jiggle on the left-hand side, assuming the peak's going to come from the right. Lovely stuff there. Blue-white looking to get himself in E-box. Sierra. Oh, Sierra. Oh, we'll find Blue-white. Fight. Needed a smoke to completely catch off Anlele.
Down to 17 HP.
I would not have swapped the orb there if I was Christu. I would have been like, I'm pretty low as well.
Yeah, it's just Sierra's 1 bullet away from death. I think
I would have said the same thing if I was Christu. Oh, if they headshot me, I'm dead. So I'm also 1 bullet.
That's what TMB was saying. He wanted the orb.
He's a better man than I, so you understand it, especially if it's a 2-man B defense. They can maybe at least do something together. But patient Chimera still waiting outside of this B side, waiting for McHughes to join them. TMB's nearby in middle, so can very quickly drop down and support from E-box, but instead he's going on a flank, and he's going to be very quick about this.
Yeah, I like this from TMB. Problem is, they're not disciplined enough. I think the B side players have got to realise, well, try and stay alive. It's excellent from Sierra. He gets 2 there.
But it's TMB that supports that there. He takes all the pressure. All the players that were looking to push out were staring at TMB, both the final ones. That's his presence. He knows he needs to strike because Christu's already gone down.
Yeah, it's all on McHughes now, 1 versus 2. Zenda, an impressive 1 versus 3 attempt in the last. But TMB doesn't even give McHughes the chance for the 1v1 as he takes him down. And Ecstatic, they get those rounds in a row now. Chimera with the bomb plants in both might allow for an investment. I'm not too sure, but
I don't think it will.
nice shots here with the
It might be a
orbs, though.
best of half buy, but yeah, there's definitely not going to be a full buyout. I mean, I'd be very surprised if there is. But yeah, I mean, this was brilliant from TMB. Only ended up finding 1 kill in that round, but that's honestly all he needed to do. Because we had that 2-man B defense. We had TMB very quick behind, but instantly Christu gets caught out and Sirius in an uncomfortable position. He finds one. Molly comes down. That's going to be his fate sealed until TMB finally strikes, draws both the players' attention, and Sirius can get one more shot off before eventually going down. And they're forcing this.
Yeah, they've opted for the investment. It's not great. Utility limiting weaponry. Same statement as we've got 3 Galils, 2 Mac-10s.
This is a real risk.
Look at the gamble, though. We're going to see a rotation from TMB. He'll be very quick. And Lele's pushed through B. And now, Chimera, what do? You try and make your way towards A, but so easily read in here. Miss Flashbang. Christy can stay posted. Nut and TMB. Excellent positions. And a near flawless round here from Ecstatic. And look, you said the gamble, opting for the force. We can see a 6-6 scoreline now. From what was a very one-sided showing from Chimera, Ecstatic bounced back massively.
I mean, this is the thing. If we went and saw the eco from Chimera, they end up getting a full buyout in this round, and potentially going to find 75. A 75 isn't a ridiculously
It's a normal
outlandish scoreline. You'd think both teams would be content with it. CG's probably a bit happier than the T's, but it's not a scoreline that you'd be hugely disheartened by for the T's. Now, though, a potential 6-6, that is something you'll be like, wow, we've not put on a good display. TMB has been a menace towards mid.
Yeah, look, the amount
so many timings.
The amount of times we're seeing it towards B as well. I'm loving the aggressive nature that Ecstatic show here. And right now, sat in the corner is Sierra, found by the Mac-10 and McHughes. We've still got TMB in the back lines, but a very difficult fight for him. And Lele looks as though he wants to go through. Slight gap in the smoke, allowing him to find. And now, low HP on both and Lele and Nut. TMB still in the flanks. The T's need to deal with him, but they can't. TMB continuing, even while blinded he finds. And TMB, 3 kills found, all on McHughes, make it a 4th. What a round there from TMB. He said he's been a menace towards middle, and he shows it off here.
It looked a little bit dicey at that time, and he finally goes for the flank, but Chimera, as if they knew, pushed out towards B with some serious speed and overwhelmed what looked like the B defense. But TMB still just a position alone, the weaker weapons. There was only one weapon that could be retrieved, but it's just great positioning there. And Lele finding 1 kill at the edge of the smoke, backing away, and they just play smart stuff and sort of allow TMB full range of that one. But it is that leveled up scoreline at half time, and this was a pretty great start to this game for Chimera, but they're going to feel as if they should have done a lot more, as if they could have got a lot more. I mean, you even look at it in terms of the context that it was a 6-2.
Yeah, definitely. I think we should have seen Chimera continue their dominant showing. Look, you may hate the view model of TMB, but I'm loving the playstyle.
But it makes it work.
Yeah, exactly. I'm loving the fact that he's taking that space so confidently, just shifting through middle. It's as though he knows the opposition are going to head towards B. I love it from TMB, the confidence. I feel like it's the type of play that when it goes wrong, we can have our laugh at him. But let's be honest, it couldn't really have gone much better. 4 kills there, completely disrupting Chimera's kind of post-plant setups. Brilliant from them.
I mean, he's read them really well. Sort of, if there's no instant mid pressure, there's no mid, and they're not even holding it. And TMB's just exploited that time and time again in that half and got some really good positions with it. And now going into the best round of this second half, this could be where Ecstatic actually going to take the lead in this game, surprisingly. Fight early towards B though from the CTs, and a heavy one at that. Blue-white under pressure in E-box as well. 2 players coming his way, but kills Christu instantly. The T's actually back away from B. Seems like this strat has been disrupted. Just slowing things down here completely, the T's are. There's some fighting towards B main, and blue-white finds his second of the round. Feels like it's a round heavily based on individuals just trying to search if they can find anything. The bomb has been dropped over, and the timer is going to start now for Chimera. Still a very tough round for Ecstatic to try to go on to win.
Yeah, Sira's got to offer a little bit more here to Anlele. They've just left him as a lone defender. Someone's got to help him out. Let's see what Anlele can do with the pressure on top of him. He just cannot connect the bullets. There's just too many targets. What are the players doing towards B main? Sira's got to do more there. Someone's got to help out Anlele. They've just left him to die on the bomb site.
I mean, look, I think you either do some weird play where all 3 go back to B main, or you do need to just fight a bit more. Support him, because that just wasn't happening. And, I mean, we can say, oh, Anlele didn't find any kills on the bomb site. I mean, good luck trying to find anything when 5 players are pushing you. And look, Chimera didn't even have a defuse kit, so it could have got a little bit worrying. I mean, big win from Chimera to bounce back, though. Both pistol rounds going their way.
Yeah, you've got to say, though, with both pistols being found by them, surely we'd see a bigger of a lead, but we've not seen that. Aggression coming through here from the CTs. It is the Force, and already Ecstatic a man down.
Might look to hit towards A. And McHughes is just jiggling on this angle. But Vilby goes down, and the util that was in the hand of McHughes stopped the instant trade coming through. Eventually, it does, but it's a 3-on-3 now, and TMB under pressure with it. Galil finds the first, spots the second, and Shine just trying to back away. They're trying to swarm onto him now.
I love it. I love the decision making. Don't allow a flanker to be there. We saw the brilliance from TMB in the back line when he flanked through middle to B. And I think Ecstatic have realised, look, what this poses is potentially too difficult. Let's deal with it now.
Oh, great smoke, and Zender will be able to push on through. Has been spotted from TMB just over the edge of the smoke, and TMB with a second. Some of the impact that he's been having has been unreal. Great call there just to tell the team, come back. At least you imagine. And yeah, really good stuff. A good trading here from A, though, as Ecstatic go 2 for 1, and that causes the rotations to come through. But TMB finding 1. And look at this. I mean, Shine's got no chance. You know he backs away. He sees all the bodies coming his way. Just no way to fight his way on out. And despite losing the pistol, Ecstatic bounced back with a force buy.
Yeah, look, Ecstatic. It's a really important win. It's got to be said, though, TMB, he's having a lot of impact right now. And I think for a player that we usually expect a bit of a limiting factor in the frag department, is doing a lot of work so far. And you just have to look at that opener. It's brilliant stuff there.
The CTs here now have a tough spot to find themselves in, so they go for a mid take to try to take down Anlele, and they will go 1 for 1 there. Information is gained on these final 2. And yeah, CT's just got to save, keep these weapons into the next. Ecstatic with the bomb down now. 40 seconds until this round will be done, but TMB might shut it down here. Just 8 HP, probably trying to keep hold of his Mag 10, to be fair. Just getting found instead. Ecstatic have done it good enough, though, and they are going to be able to actually go on to take the lead in this one. Huge turnaround from them.
Yeah, look, I think Ecstatic have kind of, you know, clearly got into the game now, and I think this is where they can potentially look to take Anubis. They're on the favoured side. Look, you said maybe they picked the CT side for that comeback potential, and I think, to be honest, they've got that game plan, you know, behind them now. Certainly. You can just see from the odds. You can just see the kind of the impression that these last, you know, 6-7 rounds have made. Ecstatic fully back in control of this game here on Anubis.
And I mean, look, Chimera's got a slight chance to see what they can do. They've got the Galil, they've got the Mac 10. A couple of 5-7s here or there. As long as Ecstatic play well, it is going to be 9 on the board for them. And I mean, look, I don't think this one is dead in the water for Chimera if they do go on to lose this one. I do think we kind of pointed out in the Veto stage that Inferno is a little bit dicey and maybe not as cut and dry as Train might have been for Ecstatic. So I still think there could be some action to be had, but
look, I have to say as well, if Ecstatic take Anubis and then lose on Inferno instead of picking Train, I think it would be even funnier.
well, I think it'd be a bit more disheartening for what on earth is the decision making. You've been great on Train.
Yeah. I'm happy to you know, clown a team for their poor decision making. I got no problem with that, but great double from Blue White sets himself up nicely for the clutch, and the swing comes through. This wasn't even a full buy, Charlie. How is the round gone against Ecstatic?
One saved Galil from Blue White, and it goes on to win the round. Ecstatic, a 1 versus 3 that you just let slip there. That is not going to be one they're going to want to remember.
Yeah, very disappointing round there. Look, you understand the swing coming through, but overlooking connector, a major mistake. And already you can see what it's done to the finances, and Lele's on a Tech 9. Interestingly, Syrah could have dropped over a Mac 10. But I think the Tech 9's got a lot more sway these days over the Mac 10. Not only is it half the price, but I feel like at range you're not so limited. Charlie, at what point are we going to be? At what point are we going to be pointing out the fact that Nutnut's 4 and 8? I think it's got to be about now.
Soon, yeah. I mean, look, he was in the 1v1 there. Sure, it's a 1v1, it's a heads-up fight. Technically, he did have more health than Blue White, but wasn't by a huge margin. But you are hoping that, yeah, that's the moment where might be having a poor performance, but at least we can say big 1v1 from Nut there to stabilise that round. But it just wasn't. It's things like this. He's had a bit of a poor game. Christo hasn't had the biggest of moments, but there definitely has been rounds where you're looking at Christo and saying, that's a huge play, that's a big difference. But yeah, it's been a little slow to get going here.
Saw the boost attempts there from Zenda, and it's fallen massively flat. Oh, great from Blue White through the smokes. Not only taking down Syrah, but he's done a lot of damage to Christo. Blue White again through the smoke.
Yeah, little retaliation from Ecstatic in the meantime. Got to find some kills before this smoke phase, and Christo will do so onto Communicuse.
Yeah, quick shot there. They're under the impression that these final plays are towards main. Charlie, we talk about this smoke towards main and the problems it can have. Oh, Zenda, nice find here. TMB, an important kill. Christo takes down the bomb diffuser. A shot there from Christo that changes the outcome of this round monumentally. Through the smoke there with the AWP. Absolutely brilliant.
And that's what we mean about that smoke towards main, what it can do. Christu can instantly be killed because of it. If there's no smoke there, Christu has to take a heads-up fight. You can hold the angle. With the smoke there, it's a bit of a shield for Christu. You don't know exactly where he is. He's able to just fire the shot off before someone pushes through the smoke to take him down. Brilliant stuff there. And what a difference it made.
Yeah, massive stuff there. Absolutely brilliant.
Chaotic last couple of rounds here as both teams trading rounds back and forth with both teams who probably should have won the round going on to lose them. And that's what we mean about Christu's impact in comparison to Nut, despite him being a little bit slow at times this game. But gone neutral in terms of kills and deaths so far.
Charlie, there's a double AWP in play. Do you think that's the answer to the questions that the Chimera side have to fight against? Do you think the double AWP was the way to go?
I mean, we'll wait and see, won't we? But the amount of smokes that do come down towards B, it never makes it easy to AWP in that portion of the map.
Pre-firing is Christu. Nice find from Sierra. Shine and Blue White, though, combining to keep this round questioning. And Blue White's had a really good game here. Defending the B-bomb site has been excellent. Remaining players all towards CT here, and Christu with work to do. That timing for Christu. He will spot out one. Aware of the final player's position as well. They would have heard McHughes jumping through. And Christu can find 3k in that round for Christu. Excellent stuff. They deny Ecstatic. Ecstatic deny Chimera. So 10-8 now, with finances very weak for the CTs. Ecstatic, a path to victory that they found. Would we say an unexpected path?
I mean, just watching these last few rounds left me pretty speechless. You see the Blue-White 1 versus 3. See Christu salvaging around with a shot through the smoke. You see that round as well, disadvantage, but Blue-White is playing at the level that I think we saw the other day where magic feels like it can happen when he's alive.
Look, he's got 7 kills in the last 3 rounds. We need to see some more from the rest of the side, though. Not smack 10.
Finally, yeah, he's finally going to breach 4 kills. Was a lot more than he bargained for, but now a bit of support from his team. And how was not that healthy? I thought he had to back away because he was low. He took like 3 points of damage. He's fine. Doubled his kills in 1 round, though. Might be a bit of a confidence boost to a player like that. But 11 on the board now for Ecstatic. And finally, one of these two teams has started to reach away from their opponent.
Yeah, this is vital. You spoke about the fact that this will kind of breed confidence here for Nut massively, won't it? And I think, yes, he's had a very tough game. And I think from the eye test, we will know that Nut has underperformed here on Anubis, regardless of the kills. As you said, he's doubled them in 1 round. There's been, we're in round number 20 now. So it's not been an impressive performance, but I'll be honest with you, Charlie. Something that it might seem so minor. I genuinely think the removal of Vertigo, it might have hurt the soul of Nut because him on Vertigo towards B main on the T side, it was a joy to watch.
Oh, it was great. It was great, yeah. Well, I might get to see him have some sort of action in this round as well. It's going to be a bit of speed. He's forced the first out. Zenda does go down. McHugh's still here on the bomb side. The trade-in is good enough from the Mac 10 of Sierra, who, interestingly, not the one to first go in. Flashbang's great, though, for Vilby, and will go on to find Sierra. So 3-on-3 as we hit the minute mark.
You said the flashbangs are good for Vilby. They were sent by the T's. Seemed like they just didn't blind Vilby. They only affected Sierra.
Yeah, I doubt that's how it was initially planned to go. Bomb will go down.
Not.
We've got a 3-on-3 post plant. There's no defuse kit currently on any of these CTs.
Yeah, look, retrieval of them is impossible. They're both on the A bomb site. They'd waste far more time than they take 10 seconds to fuse it. Nice angle from Christu. Going to reposition now. TMB's in an excellent position. He's heard all of these steps from Blue White, and TMB can go 1 for 1. It leaves Shine in a 1 versus 2, and they've got knowledge of his position. It's just the tap of the bomb. Did Christu spot him getting off of it?
Yeah,
well, they seem confident.
Sure.
But Ecstatic, they're going to find themselves 12 now. 1 round away from taking their opponent's map pick with 4 opportunities to do so.
Yeah, it's been a real grind to get hit. There's definitely been mistakes on either side. Definitely been big individuals that have stepped up and stolen away rounds, but Ecstatic, they've been the one to take the slight edge here over Chimera, and now they're the ones in a really good position to take their opponent's map pick and put themselves one spot closer to avoiding that terrifying 0-2 record.
Yeah, look, Ecstatic. It might just need to be a series victory to get them kind of back in the right direction, because I think we've said it plenty of times already today. Ecstatic are not on their form that we'd expect. But a game like this could instill a lot of confidence, especially if they can win it, maybe in a 2-0 fashion. Hughes, back at the A-bomb site. Molotov's landing, he's forced out into the open. The nade and the flash is perfect. McHughes can still get one though. Quick repositions, but Lele is in an excellent spot right now. He's going to be flanking, but obviously so is Blue-White. Christo and Sierra both holding. Great awareness here from Ecstatic, and Lele's going to make his way back towards B. He's looking to cut off rotations. Shine's not spotted this. Ecstatic have to go towards the B-bomb site in my eyes. I feel like it's their best way of dealing with Blue-White. And Lele, if he flanks E-bombs,
they're just waiting for this. This is a masterclass from Ecstatic. Blue-White
so
doesn't
disappointed.
even realise it, but he's gone. And look at the opening that creates now for Ecstatic. Oh, it's so masterfully done.
I'll be honest,
The
that's
Danes, wonderful CS.
that is one of the kind of best things I've seen in quite a while. It's so smart. They make it look so easy. Oh, well, we've got a flank going through. He can flank towards camera, maybe go CT and we go A. Or he can just guarantee the guy that we know is in canals. Brilliant stuff there from Ecstatic. A deserved victory after a round like that. It's clear that they've got a great idea of what they want to achieve. And look, a 13-8 result on your opponent's map pick, always very, very promising. And as we move to the map of Inferno, I think Ecstatic will be feeling very confident, aren't they, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, it's their map selection. They picked it for a reason. They chose it over Train, which on paper has been a better map for them recently. So, yeah, we're expecting big things from this team here. And I do think, sure, like we said, sort of sample size and statistics do look reasonably similar for both sides. But Ecstatic, you could argue they played against some higher opposition. You could argue they're a high caliber team in general. And when you consider most recently their game against Fnatic was extremely close, 13-10, which there were certainly some rounds that felt like that really changed the tide. They surely are going to be feeling pretty confident.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, Inferno next up, the selection of Ecstatic. I'm excited to see the battleground of Inferno, but we will be jumping to a break beforehand. a real uphill battle here for Chimera. I think, let's be honest, Charlie, the fact they've lost their own map pick, the fact they're moving on to Inferno and Ancient with limiting in confidence, I think we have to say, is going to be a tough battle for them, because when you take into account they were, what, 6-2 up, I want to say? They were looking pretty dominant on Ancient. I think they were definitely the driving force initially, yet it all fell so flat, only winning 2 more rounds, both on that CT side. It was just very poor from them. It's clear that Ecstatic warmed up into the server, and now, when we move to Inferno, it's a map that Ecstatic have picked. Okay, yes, we've mentioned the pitfalls that may come from a map like Inferno, especially being, you know, a map that Chimera have played a fair bit in the past. Obviously, it's not their best map, it's statistically one of their worst, but why are we not seeing Train in rotation, Charlie? We've harped on about it for quite some time, for valid reasoning. Ecstatic are one of the sides that have brought Train into their active map pool very early on. They've looked very promising on it. The results that they found on Train have been absolutely excellent. Their only loss, as you pointed out earlier, to Spirit Academy in overtime. I see no value in them picking Inferno over Train. Don't get me wrong, they can prove me wrong, they can win Inferno, they can absolutely smash Chimera out of the park. But I still feel like it's an unnecessary risk, especially when you're 0-1. This is not the time to be testing your map pool.
Yeah, I mean, all I can really think is maybe it's just been sort of the feeling in Prague right now. Maybe they just haven't been feeling this good on Trade. Maybe they've been feeling really good on Inferno. Maybe it's something as simple as that that could potentially dictate their decision making. But Fred, we are going to be jumping into Inferno now. We are going to be jumping into map number 2 and potentially Chimera's final chance here, as their backs are now up against the wall, losing their map selection. They have to best Ecstatic on theirs just to keep this series going.
Yeah, a lot of work to do here for Chimera. Obviously, the loser of this goes 0-2 in the Swiss stage, and as we've mentioned plenty of time today and kind of throughout every Swiss stage that we get the pleasure of casting, going 0-2, you very rarely make it to playoffs. But let's see if one of the teams that have lost today could prove us wrong. Pistol round, Ecstatic on the T side. 4 players with Kevlar on Chimera, and we've got obviously the kit and 2 flashes on Vilby. I like the approach here. They're going to look to wrap towards B. With that kill found on the A bomb site, though, this could be a bit of a misdecision. They are going to make this wrap through. There is still 4 defenders here. Vilby's going to go unchecked. Vilby's going to go unnoticed. He could double down here. The shots aren't excellent. They still haven't realised, still haven't fully realised Vilby's there. And they go into the stack. And in doing so, they're going to try and rush their way up onto the A bomb site. Once we see that kill come through onto A, I think Ecstatic have got to back away. But still, they have the chance for victory here. They've got to get the bomb down and kind of speed up this round. Put the pressure on Chimera.
Yeah, it's one of those calls that you stick to the game plan, but you just don't realise how open that A bomb site is. The bomb is down, there is a defuse kit, but we know what these Inferno retakes can be like sometimes. All players coming from the same angle. Flashbang comes over.
2 in pit with Glocks.
But it's all on Landlele now. Are they ready for a second player in pit? Stick at the bomb. Kills are starting to come through, but the bomb's being stuck, and Chimera will win the pistol round. A round that looked so great initially for Ecstatic, but you can just see what that silencer does there on the USP. Vilby and CT just not realised by the second player until far too late.
I think as well, we've got to point out the fact, why have we got 2 Glocks in pit? If we had players on the bomb site, maybe someone towards short as well, it could have added a little bit more chaos, a little bit more problems for Chimera to face. But there's 2 players in pit. The USPs are always going to be advantage in those fights.
Is it forced by early doors from Fnatic? From Ecstatic? Just looking at their stats versus Fnatic recently.
You see Attic and you're assuming.
Yeah, instinct.
You're a fan of it.
Can't get Fnatic out of my head.
I'm sure that Fnatic game is certainly still within the heads of Ecstatic. I'm sure they were feeling as though it was so close to essentially winning both of those maps. The buy's not great here for Chimera on the basis they've got 3 SMGs in play.
Yeah, I mean, a nice amount of util invested from the T's.
Yeah, and that utility that Chimera opted for over the weaponry is slowly fallen flat. Vilby with an important kill. Utility going to land on his position, and great awareness from TMB. He's from pre-aiming, in fact, towards balcony. Puts into the 3-on-3 now, and Lele, look at the positioning here. Absolutely excellent. There's still a player on the bomb site to deal with. They spot one towards Grave, important from Christu. Now the T's just need to back away. They just need to survive, but Nana takes this round. Perfect for Ecstatic there. Once we see the player go down on balcony and Vilby falling in mini pit, I think we knew that round was over. Just Lele's positioning alone. He wasn't even needed, but we knew if the players on the bomb site there for Ecstatic fell, they would have that secondary option of Lele to find. It's actually the kill that Christu gets onto blue-white, which creates so many problems.
Yeah, just spots him over the edge of the smoke, takes him down with the Mac. And then from there on out, Nutnut already having a better start to this game than he did on map number 1, and that's all you can really ask. But a force by Ward to kick off map number 2.
I'm loving it. Force by Wars always create the most chaos and interesting CS. I'm sure for Ecstatic, they'll want this war to come to an end. Great achievement. Oh,
wow.
Brilliant stuff. Yeah, perfect.
They understand. Sends a peeks in the angle. Just as he gets set up there, 2 nades, rain on down and take him out of it. There is an apartments push coming through right now for Chimera. Vilby and McHughes. Sorry, and Shine actually taking that space. Over
I think we've got...
It's just 2 players here on the bomb site. The smoke is going to do a good job to delay.
Oh, there won't anymore.
They're breaking it open.
Yeah, they've realised the positioning of the second player as well. He's tapping away with a deagle, but TMB can find him. And look, that control taken towards second mid means nothing. Ecstatic, they will get themselves their second round here. A positive start to Inferno here for Ecstatic. It is their T side that they favour massively here on Inferno. So I think there's got to be a real strong performance here from Ecstatic. It might sound a bit out of the ordinary, but for them to feel actually very confident that they can win Inferno, they might have to get themselves 8 or 9 rounds. I guess the one real positive is the CT side for Chimera is very poor as well. Obviously, we've only seen them play one game as the full roster. That was against the Charlotte's Talent. They lost 16-13. Obviously, we know a little bit more as for the main core, but even still.
Yeah, I mean,
Ecstatic.
You've got to look at it like this. Ecstatic in general, they have had some pretty mixed results on this map. A lot of them being poor, but they have picked this map. There's a reason for it, and it seemingly is. I wonder if it's a result of that Fnatic game. Maybe they did just over the last week or so, put in a lot of work. Played one official on it. It was that game versus Fnatic. Was very close, and maybe they are just sort of ready to take it to that next step and start picking it a bit more frequently. Maybe that is where we're at right now. I think this game's going to give us a good indication of what their current Inferno is looking like, and see if this is something that they should be focusing a little bit more on.
Very slow round here. He's still got that saved MP9, but I doubt we're going to see all too much from Shine here. It's a very difficult position to have kind of many multi-kills. I feel like he's got to find maybe 3 here to give any chance for Chimera, but let's see how it goes. Goes for an early peek. Sierra's got all this information. Towards second mid, if Sierra could get overwhelmed, but Shine's fallen. Saving this weapon's going to be the goal here. I don't think there's going to be any hunt here from Ecstatic. No. Don't need to.
No, not particularly. I mean, Vilby's going to be pretty pleased if he's able to bring this weapon over, because he's already got armor. So there'll be next to no reinvestment into the next round for him. Not sure in terms of what the loss bonus is looking like. If Zender will be able to bring out an orb, maybe there's something Vilby will be able to help with. We'll have to wait and see what the actual loss bonus is like for this Chimera side. If it is just that 2.4, might not be a chance for it, but Vilby even then can maybe drop over a rifle to Zender just to keep his money high for that op eventually. Big third round from Ecstatic. Win it reasonably cleanly. Only losing one.
Yeah, look, I think realistically, there were so many players around Syrah's position that he was always going to go down. Maybe would have thought he got more than just the one.
Handled it really well to start with, that I did believe he was going to be able to clean it up nice and easy, but apparently not.
I don't think it's really going to bother Ecstatic, though. And Lele's still on a Mac 10. Money's growing, though, for Ecstatic. No AWP on Zender for now, and we've seen big rounds from Zender. Just think back to that 1 versus 3 attempt from Zender on Anubis. It was a really nice attempt.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of action already in this series. You can watch a lot of games, and they can be close games on paper, but you sort of leave the map and you're like, pretty uneventful, to be honest. Not a lot of excitement happening in that one, but yeah, I mean, that's something that map number 1 certainly had in Bucketfuls.
Yeah, definitely. I like the idea here. The Q's solo B defender here could really struggle, and we are going to be seeing some aggression. With the smoke down, Ecstatic back away. I like the discipline from Ecstatic. Obviously, they're not to know that the B-bomb site would have been open for the taking there. Syrah's still in apartments. We're going to see a pivot here from Ecstatic. He'll be cut off from the action currently behind the smoke. Will maneuver his way to Moto. Very minimal utility remaining here from Chimera, and this could be a problem. Flashbang coming over from Nut. Vilby forced off the angle. The smokes are landing. Syrah here towards apartments is in an excellent position. Needs to deal with Vilby. Does so effectively. And now Shine holding towards Moto. Kill's important. Oh, and the kills are going the way of the T's. 1 bullet remaining in the magazine for Shine. 7 seconds remaining. Christu, there is enough time to plant. He's got to start punching in the digits, but that kill from Christu gives them the advantage now. McHugh's got information of both these players. Oh, the dead body. There's no need for either one of these players to peek. They could 3-2-1 it and go for the fight at the same time. And out in the open, Syrah, an important trade. We will see the round go the way of Ecstatic. A nice attempt there. And look, we saw 3 kills come through for Chimera there. And I was thinking, okay, well, they've definitely got a chance. But Shine, just not enough ammunition there. A couple bullets extra, and we could have seen a very different round.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great crossfire from the bomb site, but you can see as soon as that information is gained that there's a player into mini pit, Ecstatic's so hyper-focused on that angle and just sort of forget about the player towards cold. You could argue Syrah potentially needed to strike a little bit sooner to jump out of apartments and support that, but the round still went their way, got very tense as Christu just about had time for that bomb plant.
I don't mind the idea that Christu's gone for the kill and then plant, but I think if he goes down, that's the round over. So
he probably looks at it, though, in terms of, I'm putting Syrah on a 1v1 here if I go for this plant. If he gets taken down, I'll probably go down planting this bomb.
Yeah, definitely many ways to look at that one. But look, they win the round. You know, the call is right. And the fact that Ecstatic go into the bomb site facing the defenses of just 1 flashbang, already Chimera seem conditioned to having to force a lot of utility early on. Which on a map like Inferno, where we see plenty of retakes, I think already Ecstatic, it's a real positive to look at for them.
Just shines MP9 here towards 8. Jiggling the apartment. So much restraint from Ecstatic, though. Just look at the minimap. They're just leaving TMP to probe, to get this information towards A, and eventually he will do so, and that's when we'll see Ecstatic swarm onto the bomb site and put themselves in this post plant. Great discipline, though.
Yeah, then we got to say Ecstatic are playing really well here on Inferno. And look, you touched upon the fact that in that game against Fnatic, it was so close and maybe feeling confident about a map like Inferno. And I can't discredit them right now. They're looking really good here.
A little bit more sloppy in this one. I don't think there's a huge need to fight these weapons as heavily as they have. But it
looks like
if they only lose a couple of players, you wouldn't have too much issue with that. But they haven't lost a couple of players. And they'll lose 4.
They've lost nearly everyone here.
But also allowing McHughes to save an AK, perhaps. We'll see what Nut can do in this 1v1. Does take him down. So, I mean, it's losing a lot of players for what was effectively sort of 5 seconds in armor.
Yeah, definitely not worth it, but they've got money to burn, I guess. I reckon that statement might change in a couple rounds if Chimera go on a bit of a streak, but
so far, so good.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's a 5-1 scoreline. They're going to be happy with it.
I'm liking this tactical pause now from Chimera. They realise that not a lot's been going their way. He obviously lost a number of rounds due to that forced by war, but first full buy wasn't successful for them, despite how close a lot of these rounds have come, especially that full buy round. Very intense there, brought down to that 1v1 from McHughes. But now it's time. They've got another buyout. Got Zendra on this orb. Now it's time to see what they can do. Otherwise, Ecstatic likely will be finding 7.
Do you think there's been anything kind of completely wrong with how Chimera's playing? Because there's got to be a reason why they're 5-1 down. Do you think it is the OU
I really do think the main thing that we've seen from this game is we haven't actually seen a lot of full buys from Chimera. It's been that forced by wall that instantly put them down 3-1. Then we saw 1 full buy loss, which we saw how close it came. It was 4-on-2 for Chimera at that one point before Christu and Sierra found a kill back. And then they just lost that half buy. They haven't done a lot wrong. They haven't had a lot of rounds to do anything wrong yet. So it's this sort of round where we start to be able to actually see what their game's all about. And getting an opening kill here onto Christu is a good start. This is a cheeky way to try to find this kill, and they will do so. And Lele does get legged, but that's the reason why you go for the boost.
Yep. Lovely stuff there. Cheeky way to get the kill back. Cheeky way to contain the bomb site.
There's not a huge amount of utility for Chimera to try to retake this. They do have plenty of flashbangs. But that's all. You've got Nut, who's still got basically a full set that can be used. Another smoke towards CT. Potentially a molly towards Ruins. And Chimera, they've conceded it early. I think it's the right play to make.
Yeah, I've got to agree with you. Look, is it really worth going for this when you don't really have all too much information, don't have the util to do it? Yes, there's diffuse kits on McHughes and Vilby, but I don't think that's enough of an argument to give this one a go. So I think it's the right decision, however tough it may be to make. I don't know why Lele thinks of 15 HP is enough health to survive that.
Yeah, he was in that position before when he had about 30 HP and got brought down to 15 HP, so he would have had a reasonably decent idea. Yeah, probably should have just taken the risk and gone slightly down towards bottom middle just to see. But AK lost anyway. Still another round for Ecstatic. It's not going to be that easy 7th like we were potentially anticipating if all of Chimera went down, as they've been able to save a lot of weapons.
Yeah, but they've got to do something with these save weapons, and TMB, he had the spawn for the early peek for middle, so took it. And Christu, although maybe reluctant about the idea of dropping the orb to TMB, I think they've already reaped the rewards. The positioning here of Nut's excellent. Important kill onto Shine, and we're looking at 5-on-3 already.
They are not going to expect
so
this, considering Nut was holding this angle. Sierra's already out towards A. They now know Zender's towards top middle, and Sierra can just get posted up in a strong angle. And this round is already all said and done, it feels like.
Yeah, Sierra's gone static though, which will allow Zender for a bit of an idea, but now maneuvering. The bomb's gone out of apps. There's nothing that Chimera can do here apart from save. And we're going to look at that 7-1 scoreline now, surely. At what point, though, are they going to be giving these disadvantage, 3v4s, 3v5s a go? Because time is ticking here on Inferno. I think we have to be honest with that.
Yeah, I mean, there's still 4 rounds left to play after this one. There'll still certainly be options, but let's see how good the save actually is going to be. And Lele finds Blue-White, who's not being silent about what he's doing, and McHughes goes down as well. Zender is on the B-bomb site. I actually think there will still be a buy anyway, just due to the fact that they saved previously with a lot of players, so there was already just a bit of buffer in terms of the economy that they could have had, but it's certainly going to mean if they don't all save in the next, that's where they could be back to being some problems.
To me, though, they shouldn't be worrying about kind of future rounds, whether the finances are there for saves. They've got to start giving it a go. Already 7's been found here from Ecstatic, and I think we're going to see a continuance from the T side here from Ecstatic. They've looked excellent. I've been really impressed with what they've shown. Yes, okay, they lost the pistol. And it was a bit of a difficult pistol because we saw that flank come through. We saw kind of, a really good idea. It went against them, but ever since, they've been right on the money. They've been absolutely exceptional here. And yes, we can combine that with the fact that Ecstatic have looked really good and Chimera haven't, but in the same regard, I don't think it's just about the fact that Chimera's CT sides usually poor. I think we've got to say Ecstatic have looked very, very good here. Great find from Blue-White, though. This is what we expect from Blue-White. Zero, though, he's taking these timings again. Far too much freedom here. You won't be spotted.
Yeah, luckily he's safe, but not for long. The player towards apartments has been heard, and they tried to swarm towards A, but a missed AWP shot initially from Christu allows Vilby to find one more before going down. It is advantage Ecstatic, but for how much longer can Chimera keep this? Long enough as Blue-White doubles down.
Again, though, Charlie, we cannot just be relying on the likes of Blue-White to dig this side out. He gets a triple there. Obviously, the double's excellent. And if we see a trade, it goes down to, what, a 1v1. But still, I think this is not a convincing enough showing here from Chimera for me to think that they can come back. I've got to say it.
Double nade.
Oh, the double nades. 3 HP on Zender. Speaking of nades, McHughes.
I mean, Zender actually manages just to re-peek and find 1 kill on 2 HP to try to support his teammates. That feels more than worth it. Nut tries to get a kill back onto McHughes and will do so. 2-on-2 and plenty of time to play with. I'm loving the space this here is taking.
Yeah, he's just doing this again. It makes it look so simple. Makes it look so easy. Just being able to take this play, be able to take the space, and you can easily find this kill onto Shine. Spots him out. Shine's going to reaggress. Lovely stuff here. Puts Vilby in the 1 versus 2, and the successes of the last round might not matter all too much in the grand scheme of things because it's a very tough clutch here for Vilby. It's a 1 versus 2. He's not even having a look.
Doesn't have a kit. I don't know if there's one down anywhere.
Even still, it's a 1 versus 2. You're really going to, force yourself into a 6-round deficit? It's a possible clutch. I've got to say, I'm actually quite disappointed we haven't even seen an attempt there. I think there might have been a kit on Shine. I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think Chimera had the liberty to just go for a save in a round like this.
I mean, it will mean we're allowed to see another buy. With the save door, he'll be able to buy a weapon himself. The issue is, Inferno, A bomb site in particular, when you have no information and your disadvantage as well, there are so many angles that you need to check and clear. And sure, you can take some liberties and just not clear some of them and hope that they're not there. But even still, players, look where the bomb was planted, players towards apartment, players towards short, they can just play solely for the bomb. And if there's no kit on you, or he has to go actively out of his way to retrieve the kit, it just makes a round so tough. So you prioritize the same in the AWP. I don't mind the idea. I think we are at a point now where Chimera probably can't save unless the round is like a 5-on-2. You do need to start getting some rounds on the board, otherwise Ecstatic might just have won the game in this first half.
Yeah, look, if it pans out for Chimera here in this round and they find the final 2, then, look, I guess you can say there are positives for that save. That is the saved AWP. So, opening kill will go their way. We might just see some instant aggression coming through towards the B-bomb site, though. Reposition here from McHughes. Easy kills found. The flashes are awful. Utility's nowhere near good enough. McHughes is able to kind of pick and choose his timings on when to peek. And the MP9 can swing out wide. It is, in fact, Zender to get the final kill, but good stuff there from the CTs. 5 survivors. A perfectly played round.
Yeah, and a super dominant one. I mean, obviously money for Ecstatic is good enough to be able to get a buyout. Could have got an AWP if they wanted on Chris too, but clearly opted against it on this T side. And final round. Chimera, I do think it is important for them to find this final one. You mentioned Ecstatic haven't had the greatest of CT sides. But it does feel like I can't see them faltering too heavily on it like we have seen in the past.
Yeah, look, you take that game against Fnatic. Ecstatic were able to find 5 rounds on that CT side. They won the pistol, but then lost the force, and which ruined their finances. So I think we can expect a decent enough performance here from Ecstatic on their CT side. I think right now they're going to be pretty confident, and I think a 9th is just the cherry on top.
Timing's rough there for Blue-White as he drops the molly to try to allow Zender to find a kill with the AWP, but instead it just goes completely against them. Blue-White gets caught out, and the B-bomb site is left slightly more undefended.
Yeah, Zender, though, is here with the AWP. Bomb's making its way towards apartments. It seems like Ecstatic, with limited time, might go for a late play. For some rotations. Utility coming down now. And I think Chimera in a spot where they kind of have to gamble. We're seeing it from Vilby already. Great find from Anlele. That kill is going to change the whole round because we're going to see those rotations. We're going to see Chimera take the full gamble because of Anlele getting that pick. Shine is still sticking around though. I would have actually really liked to just see Anlele go for it all. Just continue to hit towards B. There's no downside. Okay, yeah, you might lose your life, but you sell the fake even further. Vilby can rotate in. He can find the bomb. And we see the round possibly going the way of Chimera. Now it's all on TMB. 1 versus 2. He will get the first. Now all on to McHughes. He's given up his position. TMB, 1 shot to the head is all that it takes, but he won't find it. McHughes can take him down. I don't really know why we haven't seen Anlele continue to stay towards B, continue to show presence.
I mean, honestly, I don't think it should have mattered, though. Shine...
Well, the trades, yeah.
I mean, the trade should have come through, but Shine was caught in rotation. I think Ecstatic needed to be a little bit quicker out towards apartments. I mean, timing was actually ridiculous on Shine's positioning, because he moved towards Moto, not spotting the player towards apartments, but the player towards apartments not spotting him, and they're already out towards the balcony. So without realizing, Shine isolated these 2 players. He was able to find the first as the second just dropped down, so they couldn't instantly get the trade back. It was honestly ridiculous timing for Shine that in any other world, 99% of the time, Ecstatic should have been able to find the trade, or at least the second player should have been able to shoot at the same time.
Look,
and that really would have changed the round.
I think it definitely would have done, but I think also at the same time, if Anlele is just sticking on the B-bomb site trying to find kills, it doesn't matter if he dies. The rest of the team have a 4 versus 1 onto the bomb site. Obviously, Shine, very fortunate in that round and does so well with that good fortune. But I think as well, and Lele could have just continuing showing presence. Nice find from Sierra. Nut as well, taking down McHughes. The miss smoke to Moto's become quite costly.
Great nade there onto Vilby, softening him up. Ecstatic don't need to rush this, but they do not have a defuse kit, so need to start to find something. And the 1-for-1 trade initially towards Shaw has only gone better for Ecstatic. Shine, a big last round. They're gonna have to go even bigger in this one. Finds the first, but the flashbang is excellent, and Christu will punish him before anything more can be had. Ecstatic with the pistol round victory. You mentioned they lost the last force by 2 Fnatic on this. Chimera, are they a point Fred, but they have to go for the force?
I don't think they're at that spot right now. Don't get me wrong, it's not the best position to be in, but I think 10-4, you go for the eco. Obviously, you've got to go on a crazy streak of rounds, but I think you go for the force and lose. To me, that's the game over. I think it would just give your opponents 11-4, and I think at that point, that's maybe where we're thinking things are too difficult.
I suppose especially when you consider Ecstatic haven't had a great CT side as of late, so maybe if you can get the weapons out, you can look to punish. But that's not going to be the case here. They have gone for the force buy. 2 Galils, 3 Mac-10s in play. Not a lot of utility. So they're not going to really be able to fight for a lot of control early, hence why you see Banana being given up instantly. So I mean, look what they got for an execute. A smoke, 3 flashes, and an HE grenade.
Yeah, not perfect.
CZs are using their utility just to try to deny anything for the T's for now. TMB slowly made this rotation back towards B. Does have a smoke and a molly that he can drop just to deny this vision and give even more sign of presence here on this side of the map. Great HE grenade there from TMB towards B.
Yeah.
Look how much he's weakened these players. And drops the smoke. The push comes through and it's easy for TMB's MP9. And Lele surely completely baited in here.
Simple stuff from Lele. Lovely round there from Ecstatic. And the force has been silenced. And this is now where Chimera kind of in that do or die kind of status. I really just don't know what you do. I think it's got to be an eco, but as I said, this is the problem you face.
Yeah, and I mean, look, throw on top. Just throw on top of the fact that that 0-2 record is looming over Chimera now. And how worrying that is going to be for their future chances in the Swiss stage.
Yeah, most definitely. Certainly not easy, but we've said the same about the 3 teams that have already gone 0-2. And it seems like Chimera might be joining them very shortly. HE grenade again doing so much damage.
I mean, it is kind of just a basic, let's waste as much util as we can. If we're able to find a couple of moments with these upgraded pistols, that would be great. But chances are not going to be the case. TMB deep here towards Banana with Lele to support. Not being cleared initially, and Lele here as backup, and easy clean up for the CTs, and all 5 will survive. 2 rounds away from Ecstatic eliminating Chimera from this 1-on-1 or this 0-1 record and dropping them down to the real scary pits of the Swiss stage. Still,
I think, look,
will have a chance, but I mean, Fred, it's a dire one, isn't it?
Look, we got to say as well, because the money's so good for Ecstatic, win or lose here for Chimera, they're going to be investing in the next. But it's just the fact that Ecstatic are going to be getting a very, very good investment in the next round regardless. So I think that's the really, really scary thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Brilliant HE grenade as well to kick things off. So much util damage dealt again. Got another HE grenade on Anlele if that's timed well.
Well, we've seen the utility damage from Ecstatic. And there's the HE. Well,
there's
look,
still another one.
the volley as well.
Oh, Anlele might
Great
regret going for
find.
that.
Yeah, lovely shot that. TMB's going to drop the Molotov to delay it once further.
Oh, and Christu through the smoke as well. TMB swinging with him. Such good team play, and the lurk from Shine gets silence from Nut Nut. Oh, Vilby was... I was going to say surely spotted. Apparently not. So this is actually giving him a ton of room to play with. Nut Nut's thinking that there's no chance he's going to be on this A-bomb site.
Well, the problem is for Vilby, he's probably going to want to look to get a kill before planting the bomb, but because Nut Nut doesn't see him, in fact, it kind of takes that away. Vilby's going to clear this out. We can just see Ecstatic play this as a 3 versus 1 retake, and it's going to be very difficult here for Vilby.
Yeah, just realising now that somehow he has crossed. And you can see the patience on Nut Nut. He just sits deep in apartments, waiting to see if Vilby moves.
The bomb's halfway ticked. The CTs are giving a lot of time here.
Do with the defuse kit, so he's not completely worrying, but instantly they know he's towards pit. There is a HE grenade on Nut Nut, but the bullets will do the trick. And there's round number 12. I mean, a bomb plant is, I suppose, a saving grace for Chimera here, as they will be able to get an investment out. But this could be it. This could be the final moment, and Static CT side so far is flawless in this one, but there's not been a huge amount of rounds to touch on.
No, it's not been the positive performance I think many expected. Look, we said this could be a close one, right? We anticipated that the fact that the vetoes are fairly even. We thought maybe we could see, you know, a very, very close game, but it didn't. It's not happened, has it? Inferno's just been very, very dominant from Ecstatic.
I think it might be a little bit longer in this one, though, Fred. For now.
Yeah. Slight technical issues, yeah. We can hear the typing.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, it was something that coming into this one, I was expecting it to be a little bit closer than it was, but I think Ecstatic in this one just showing that they are at least that one step out from Chimera here. And despite a map that previously they have looked a bit shaky on, it's a 12-4 scoreline right now. And Anubis as well. I mean, don't get me wrong, it did feel like there were a lot of clutch moments, a lot of very scary situations for both teams, but Ecstatic, they came out on top there. And maybe this is the beginning of the upwards turn for Ecstatic after a pretty poor sort of last month or so.
Yeah, definitely. Look, Ecstatic have not been the side that many expected by this moment. As I said right at the start, I think many were willing to give Ecstatic their time. And I think it's got to be said, when you look at the performances that we've seen, obviously they had a really, really good showing in Series 15. We spoke about that. They got themselves to the final. But there's been some real missteps. There really has, hasn't there? You just have to look at kind of the times in Series 11, Series 12, 13. It's not really been what we might have thought from Ecstatic, has it? And I think for a side that has had so much kind of positive outlooks and kind of future potential, it's nice to see them having a very dominant result on a map that we, let's be honest, question their decision in picking.
Yeah, exactly. This is what I mean. Potentially there is just an argument to be said for Ecstatic that it was just a feeling. In practice, they've been feeling good. Maybe they have just been working on this map a decent bit and felt like this is a good time to test it out in the Swiss stage. Obviously, we did see it against Fnatic as well. And maybe, yeah, it's just something they've been working on and wanted to sort of implement it a little bit more as one of their picks. And
yeah,
maybe we just need to stop looking so much at their sort of past results and start looking at the here and now, because on display, Look at this, what a game this one has been. But round number 17 is going to be underway now, as all the issues have been sorted in Ecstatic. Just one round away from keeping themselves in a pretty solid spot in the Swiss stage.
Look, 1-on-1, it puts them middle of the pack. You know, it's not bad at all. Obviously, they're going to want to hope for better things, but great aggression from Nut. Important trade from McHughes, in fact. With that, the bomb being spotted, Ecstatic can have some ideas of where Chimera are going to be heading.
Space taking in apartments now from Shine, just clearing all of this out. And Lele has now rotated in from B, now covering this apartment's position. And that's where 3 of the T's are going to be popping and bursting out of. Flashbang comes down, 2 CTs defending. Sierra does get 2 before falling, so a 2-on-2. TMB and Vilby both trading damage onto one another.
Yeah, smoke here towards Moto. There's a big gap on the left-hand side from the CT's perspective. I think they can see in front of it. The re-smoke comes down. Static. Feeling confident in giving this one a go. Christy repositioning now into the cubby. Vilby's playing a nice off angle. I really like this. I don't think Christy's going to be aware. Surely not.
There's no defuse kill on either of these 2 players right now.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to speed things up. Oh, Christu! A pinpoint shot! Vilby's been found. Is there enough time for the views? Oh, TMB picks it up!
It's done.
Oh, it's lovely. It's perfect. What a round, I have to say. The shot there from Christu is disgusting.
I mean, it's the patience there. You can see Chimera just want to have a bit of a look. Oh, nothing's coming our way yet. Maybe they've backed away. Just a little peek out towards Moto, and that's where Christu's glued to the angle. Such a tight find, but such a great shot, and that's the initiation call. Wonderful stuff there for Ecstatic to take that one in a 2-0 fashion, and this is what we've wanted to see. A lot of positives after their first game in the Swiss stage, despite that one being a loss, but this is the one where they were able to actually convert it into a win. And like you said, they are going to be roughly middle of the pack now with that 1-1 record, but on the other side of things, Chimera now sitting 0-2 after just 2 days here. They're already finding themselves backs against the wall.
Yeah, look, we can bring up the Swiss standings, have a little bit of a look of how these games will affect the current standpoint. And obviously, you know, we've seen 4 teams out 0-2, Alaska, Copenhagen Wolves, Cybershock, and Chimera. And I think it's got to be said, right, there's a lot of work for these sides to do. We've seen half of these kind of games so far in the round 2. We've got the winners' games tomorrow, which is always going to bode some excitement. Get to see some teams that go 2-0, kind of one step closer to those all-important playoffs. Obviously, tomorrow morning's game, it is Guns versus Rush B, which should be an exciting CIS matchup, which I'm very much looking forward to. It kicks off at 10 AM CET. You will be joined by the wonderful partnership of, I want to say it's Hayes and Atro. I might not be right there, but make sure to be up early to prove me wrong or prove me right. I'm not too sure. But look, that's been it from us today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you tomorrow for that CCT action.